Say on streets.
Our streets.
Say on streets. And made it.
Right.
Made it. Whose streets?
Our streets.
Word on the beat, word on the beat, word on the beat.
Time after time after time after time after time after time after
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Bazz, and y'all tuned in to another episode of Ends Podcast. In this podcast, we gonna keep it real, man. You know, I spent some time out in Minnesota, man, Minneapolis, man, the Twin Cities, and I noticed it was a different type of culture. It was a different type of grounds when it came for just navigating and understanding just like the scene of things as far as business and music. But this episode, we gonna talk more about, the artists, the music and artist community. And I got 3 key tips on how to navigate it, and at the same time, why. You feel me? So like everybody always want to understand that why, because sometimes we come into situations and our mindset be like, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Like, this is my mindset. I don't see why I need to do that, or I don't find the value in it right now, or why I need to do that. So I'm going to give you the value right now. Number 1, well, understand that navigating the music, entertainment industry, just scene, or just, just crowd, or whatever you want to call it, when it comes down to this Twin Cities, you got to understand that this is a close-knit, family-like environment. You feel me? And that number 1 is going to lead to my number 2. But that number 1 really let that well you. It's a family, close-knit type of environment, but it just looks differently. I had to kind of take it back to kind of think about, back in, I'm from Detroit. But when you think about everybody you done grew up with, like that type of environment where it's like, I didn't know you, I know your resume, like I know who you are, I know what you stand for, I know what you bring to the table, I know how you act, stuff like that. So people grew up already knowing how people fit into their relationships, and they also establish where they like-mindedness interest comes in at. You feel me? And they all, and then a lot of things here is like about vibes too. But it's like, that's where that closeness, like just being close with each other come in at, because I understand your vibe, I understand what trigger your vibe, I understand what stimulates your vibe, you feel me? So it's like, I just take that back to when I was just saying like back in Detroit. I think about just growing up on the east side, and just think about just growing up in the hood I grew up in, just neighborhood I grew up in. It was like, everybody I grew up in, it's still love. It's always love. It's like a close-knit type of thing. Yeah, it was just close-knit. Like a lot of them I knew from high school or middle school, some even like around like elementary. And it was always just close-knit, real tight family. And it was just like, just understanding that. And then, that's why we call it Ends to Family. So we understand that family-like culture, man. And that goes into like with the whole scene, like, and there's different scenes when it comes to like the music industry. My bad, y'all. I gotta like burp or something. But it's whole different scenes when it comes down to like the music industry and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, once you get to talking about like art, and music, combining those two, that's one thing that you gotta understand. It's close-knit, it's a family-like type of, environment. So a lot of these groups hangs out in pockets. A lot of them already know each other, already established relationships, like we already said. It's already that understanding the vibe. So you coming into sort of like a controlled environment where most times or not, they trying to control the vibe of the environment. They want a certain type of energy to flow. So then that's why when you go to certain type of events, you'll see certain different type of people. You feel me? And as far as, the real artsy, like hipster artsy, or you might go, it might be like rebel I don't want to say rebel, but you feel me, like punk artsy. You feel me, a punk art. You feel me, and that goes on both sides. The only reason I say artsy because I mean like as in like they may be a visual artist, they may be musician, they may be like fashion artists. But you feel me, like that's how it is out here. You feel me, it's broken down a little bit, but it's all into the same groups though. So you got like the hipsters. You feel me, more so like a lot of like. I ain't gonna say more so because you feel me, the black culture kind of is divided into those two as well. You feel me? Also saying you got that rebel type, like that rebel type. I guess you call it like alternative or punk. Then you got that, that artistic. You feel me? Like they tapped in, no matter if it's hood or just hipster. They just tapped in and they just involved in their art. They real like artists. You feel me? Which is real cool. So you got the atmosphere out here. Which take you into number 2